Protein, the missing piece. The goal of this episode is very simple. I just want you to understand the basics of protein, what it actually does for your body. You see protein everywhere. Every product says high protein, extra protein, added protein. The food industry figured it out. They know that if they put this word on there, grabs people's attention, and people are still wondering what are the benefits of protein? So let me break it down in a way that makes sense. Protein is made of amino acids. You could think of it like building blocks. Your body uses them to repair and maintain itself. It is useful for muscle, skin, hair, enzymes, hormones, all of that. Depends on protein. So when you eat it, you're not just eating calories, you're giving your body material to work with. That's different from carbs. Carbs are mostly quick energy. Protein is more about structure and repair. It's slower, steadier, and that's exactly why it matters so much. People think protein is only needed for those who work out, but it is needed for everything. Protein is not just a muscle thing, it is one of the basic signals of safety and steadiness in your body. It helps you feel full, protects your muscle, supports your metabolism, and even changes the way your hunger hormones behave. Protein is one of the strongest tools we have for turning down that volume, or what people call the food noise. When you eat protein, several things happen. First, it slows things down in a good way. Food stays with you longer. You don't get that quick rise and hard crash the same way you do after eating refined carbs. Second, protein helps trigger fullness signals. One of those is GLP-1s, which people now know because of medications. But your body makes GLP-1 naturally. Protein helps stimulate that signal. It helps quiet down ghrelin, our hunger hormone, which rises anytime your body thinks it needs fuel. So when someone says, "Why am I hungry again an hour later?" A lot of times that answer is actually simple. The meal had taste, maybe even calories, but it didn't have enough protein to tell the body we're good now. This is why two breakfasts can feel completely different. Say you had a sugary coffee and a pastry, which had plenty of calories, but a lot of people are starving again soon after. But when you compare that with somebody who has eggs with Greek yogurt or a protein smoothie with fruit and milk or even cottage cheese that same morning, they totally feel different. One breakfast is a quick spark, the other is a real signal. The second person might feel a lot more fuller. Now let's answer the question everybody asks. How much protein do I need? The cleanest, simple answer for most adults is this. Most people do better when they spread protein throughout the day. A practical target for many people is somewhere around 20 to 30 grams per meal, and often more if they are larger, more active, trying to lose fat while keeping muscle, or recovering from any illness or training. Some people do well using a rough daily range based on body size, often around zero point 0.7 to 1 gram per pound of goal body weight, or around 1.2 to 1.6 grams per kilogram if you like medical numbers. Build meals around a real protein source and make sure each meal actually has enough to matter. Another question people ask is, it is so hard to get protein in. Protein actually only gives you 4 calories per 1 gram of protein. So only 100 grams of protein is only 400 calories. So you have to ask yourself, where are you getting the rest of your calories from? Even though protein has 4 calories per gram, your body has to do more work to digest it and process it. This is called the thermogenetic effect of food. In plain English, some foods cost more energy to handle and digest than others. Protein has the highest thermogenetic effect compared to the other three macronutrients, which is carbs and fat. It's not some magic trick where you eat 100 calories of protein and they disappear, but it does mean protein is metabolically expensive in a helpful way. That thermogenesis point is specifically built into your core framework too. Protein also matters because muscle matters. And muscle is not just for people trying to look jacked in the mirror. Muscle is one of the best metabolic organs you have. It helps handle your blood sugar better. It helps protect your joints. It helps you stay functional at any age. It also helps your body burn more energy at rest than it would if you had less lean mass. When you work out, especially when you do resistance training, you create tiny tears in muscle fibers. That sounds bad, but it's actually how adaptation happens. When the body repairs those fibers and builds them back stronger. It needs protein to be the raw material to do that. So when people are under eating protein, they are not just missing out on fullness, they're making it harder for their body to repair, recover, and build strength. And this matters even more in weight loss because when people lose weight too fast or not eating enough, they don't just lose fat, they also lose muscle. That is one of the reasons why people end up feeling weaker, more tired, more frustrated, especially with the GLPs if they're not having enough. Protein helps protect against it. It tells the body, keep the good stuff, keep the structure, keep the engine going. Now, let's make this a little bit more practical. So, what does protein actually look like in real life? Most people think protein just means meat. It's not true. If you do eat meat, easy examples are chicken breast, turkey, lean beef, eggs, Greek yogurt, cottage cheese, turkey, protein shakes. When life gets messy, you need some convenience. Fish eaters have great options as well: salmon, tuna, sardines, shrimp, cod, trout. Fish is interesting because you often get protein, plus you also get omega 3 fats, depending on the fish. If you're a vegetarian, you still have plenty of options: Greek yogurt, cottage cheese, eggs, cheese, tofu, edamame, lentils, beans, high protein pastas, milk, soy milk, and protein powders if needed. If you're vegan, you can absolutely do this as well. So a lot of things I already mentioned, including chickpeas, black beans, peas, hemp seeds, chia seeds, quinoa, and plant-based protein powders as well. Sometimes when people increase protein, they can sometimes feel hungrier, and that confuses them. They'll say, wait, I thought protein was supposed to keep me full. It does. But here's what's happening underneath. Your body is now more active when it's processing food. Going back to the thermogenic effect of food, your metabolism is actually increasing. You're burning more energy just handling that protein. And on top of that, your body needs more fluid to process it properly because when your body's burning energy, it's losing fluid. So, what can happen is this: your body needs more water, but your brain reads it as hunger. So, instead of thinking, I need fluids, you start thinking, I need more food, or my hunger is worse. And this is where it ties back to something we talked about earlier in this season. Dehydration doesn't always feel like thirst. Sometimes it feels like cravings, like fatigue, like you're eating something and there's something missing. So if you ever increase your protein and thought, why am I still hungry? Pause for a second. Ask yourself, did I increase my fluids as well? Because a lot of times that is the missing piece. Now let's clear up something I hear all the time. Is too much protein bad for your kidneys? This question comes up in clinic constantly, and I get it. People have heard this for many years. Let's make it make sense. Your kidneys filter waste. When you eat protein, your body breaks it down, and part of that process creates byproducts that your kidney has to handle. That's normal. So, yes, protein gives your kidneys work to do, but that doesn't mean it's harmful. For most healthy people, your kidneys are designed to handle this. The issue is not protein alone, the issue is protein without enough fluids. Otherwise, natural waste products or byproducts will actually build up. So, if you're eating more protein, not drinking enough, everything becomes more concentrated. Your body has a harder time clearing things effectively and efficiently. That's where people start to feel off. That's where risk can build over time in certain situations. So, when fluids are adequate, your system runs the way it's supposed to. So, instead of fearing protein, the better question is, am I supporting my body properly while eating it? Now, if someone already has kidney disease, that's a different conversation that needs to be individualized. Confront your nephrologist or your kidney specialist. They know everything about fluids and protein. But for most people, protein is not the problem. It is a lack of balance. Another hidden piece is the blood sugar control. Protein helps slow digestion and soften glucose swings, especially when it's paired with carbs. So if somebody eats toast alone, they may get hungrier fast. If that same person had toast with eggs or Greek yogurt, the meal usually lands differently. It is steadier, less dramatic, more useful. That is why protein is such a friend to people who feel shaky, snacky, or crashy. So instead of overthinking it, here's a simple shift. Start noticing your meals. Just ask yourself, is there something here that's actually going to hold me? That could be eggs in the morning instead of coffee or a shake. It could be just making sure dinner isn't just carbs and snacks because you're exhausted. Small adjustments like that, they add up fast. You don't have to get it perfect. You just have to start giving your body a little more of what it's been asking for. Because when you do, the noise starts to quiet down. Everything else starts to feel more manageable. Next episode, we're going to talk about carbs because carbs might be the most misunderstood part of this entire conversation. People are scared of them, cutting them out, blaming them for everything, and at the same time, relying on them all day without realizing. So, we're going to break that down in a way that actually makes sense. I'll see you in the next episode.